Hello and welcome to Violet Tortoise Studio. My name is Valerie and I am the creator of Violet Tortoise Studio. Let me start from the beginning and explain these different pieces that I have worked on. Okay, so for this first one, it was an angel that I decided that I would like to draw, and I like using vivid colors. So this one actually I made several years ago, and I had hanging up on my wall for quite a while. I was in a very weird phase of drawing. This next one was what I called the loving tree. You can actually see two little angels on the side. I had just started dating my then boyfriend, but is now my husband, while he went off to college. And drawing this just came out of a young teenager's heart. So this one that follows up is actually an idea that my mom had of a turtle falling in love with an army helmet. And we both love turtles, and I used to do Civil War reenacting. So this was something that was very dear to me to try. It's still cute, I still have it, but it's a very different style. One of the things I always loved was dragons, and my little sister had actually asked me to draw and paint a dragon for her, and in order to understand how to do that, I found this picture online, and I decided that I was going to draw it for her. It didn't end up being the one that I gave her. It's actually one that I've had hanging up on my wall for quite a while. But this is when my drawing style started to take more shape and my use of colors and differentiating colors. This next one was from the movie Hotel Transylvania, and I always thought that the sad, pouty bat face was cute, and it was something that actually struck me when I was watching it, and I wanted to draw it, so I drew it, and then I painted it, and I had it hanging up on my husband's wall. This is the painting that I actually did for my sister. She wanted this very specific painting, and she still has it hanging up in her room to this day. It was about 5 years ago that I made this painting. Still had some work to do, but I thought it was pretty good for the level of talent that I had at the time. This next one was one that I did for my mother for Christmas. She loves Hello Kitty, and I felt the strongest desire to draw her and paint her a Hello Kitty painting. It took me quite a while to get this right because I am a perfectionist and I love everything to be perfect. So I finally got to the point of making this painting for her, and it came out very well. She still has it hanging up on her wall to this day. That was about 5 years ago that I made this for her as well. Actually, no, more like 3, but still, my painting style had changed. Okay, so this next painting was inspired by Bob Ross. There was a Bob Ross marathon going on Twitch, and I wanted to paint in the worst way like Bob Ross. He was my idol when growing up, and I did several paintings along with Bob Ross, as this next one is going to show. I have a blog as well that I have to get back into doing, and hopefully this will hold me accountable to it, that I explained how my desire to paint like Bob Ross and to do the things that Bob Ross was doing, how my experience went. That previous one I called Devil's Snow because it was just a nightmare to make. This one I absolutely love, and I have it hanging up in my dining room right now because of how well it came out. If you want to start painting, my suggestion would be to try Bob Ross's way. It's brilliant. This next one was Gambit, and I'm sorry for the picture quality. It's not the greatest, but I had a person that I worked with who really wanted Gambit drawn for him and painted, especially after he's seen some of my other work that I've done. So I spent quite a few days going through and trying to figure out how Gambit was drawn and what Gambit looked like. And I found a picture that was really great that somebody else had done maybe CGI work with, and I worked with that in order for this painting to be the way it was. He also had asked me to do a Hello Kitty painting for his daughter, and since he had seen what I had done before with Hello Kitty, he asked me to do another one for her. So I drew this for her and then painted it, and she absolutely loved it, so that made me feel really great. So this next one is Ariel. It was my depiction of, part of what Ariel looks like. It still needs some work. I haven't started painting it yet because it's for a friend. But her hand needs a little bit of work. Thankfully, her lips were fixed. This next one is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Now, I love the Beauty and the Beast books, and the movie as well. But I wanted to do something a little different with it. I love doing big eyes on my paintings because I feel that the eyes are just so beautiful. So the bigger they are, the prettier they are, right? Well, this one took a little while to get her eyes correct, and it still looks a little wonky, but I thought it came out fairly well for what I was working on. And it's the first time that I've tried to do this kind of style. This next one is Alice in Wonderland. It's actually drawn from a picture, which is a great way to learn, is drawing from a picture of the girl who played Alice in Wonderland holding a rabbit. So I decided to try and draw from that and paint from that. I used my own creative license with it. It definitely was in the awkward phase when I finished it. It's something that I need to tidy up a bit. But I think it came out, fairly well for at least trying to do an object such as that. This next one was Jane and Tarzan from an iconic scene in the movie Jane and Tarzan. And I know my means I'm trying to sell these at all because they are copyrighted, but it's another great way to learn how to draw. Always, to find something that you like and to draw from that picture. It really helps to teach you the lines and to teach you the art styles. It's something that they do in a lot of classes for art theory and whatnot. So that's what I did here, and I think it came out brilliant. My dad absolutely loved it. This next one is my depiction of Little Red Riding Hood. This one I drew completely just from my head and painted it from my head, and I love this piece. It's so beautiful, and I think I did a fairly good job with it. This next one was another version of a Bob Ross painting. It is not a Bob Ross painting that you'll find by watching Bob Ross's videos, but it is using Bob Ross's technique. This particular painting wasn't my best one doing that, but it was a try. This next one is one that my husband loves. It's another using Bob Ross's technique, and he loves the mountains in this one. So this is one I'm not allowed to give away or sell. This is one that we have to keep because he loves it so much. I also tried my hand at some abstract stuff, using tape, masking tape, using different colors. This one wasn't my favorite, but the next one that shows up was. I like the bright colors. The orange was a bit much in this one. Oh, sorry, it's actually not the next one that shows up. The next one that shows up is a cardinal. I had painted this one because my mom loves cardinals, and I was trying to enter into a Michaels competition where they do art competitions. Sadly, mine didn't get anywhere near there, but I gave it to my mom, and she has it hanging up in her house. So here's another one that I've done in a Bob Ross-esque type of style. The thing that he always talked about was he's not teaching you how to paint, but teaching you a style. And his style works very well for anything that you're trying to paint, which you'll see later. So this is the other abstract that I was talking about. I like the jagged angles on this one, and it's just a bunch of chaos on a paper that is somehow not chaos. So, you can try any number of styles, anything that comes to your head, anything that you feel a desire to do. Sorry for the quality of this picture. I'm not sure why it's that blurry. But this is another Bob Ross-esque idea. It's a wet-on-wet oil painting. So just a moment ago, I had mentioned how Bob Ross said that his technique was not telling you how to paint or showing you exactly what to paint, but giving you a technique. And this is a perfect example. I used his wet-on-wet technique to make an underwater seascape. And this and the next one are the styles that I had come up with. you can use his same technique and still get a different feel and a different vibe for what you're trying to paint. He's simply showed you a technique, and it's just up to you to apply it, which I think these come out fairly well, so definitely give it a shot. So this last one is a wolf that I was working on. I love the eyes that came out of this painting. I thought it was beautiful. And sometimes I feel like many artists have something come out of what they're drawing that they weren't expecting to happen. And this was one that happened that way. I just gave it a shot. I redid the face 100 times, and it took quite a lot to get it to where I wanted it to be. I still have a little bit to finish up towards the background, but it was beautiful. I loved how this painting came out, and it was one that surprised me. Now, like I said throughout the rest of this, is that there are different things that you can do that will help you become better at drawing. Like I said, I am no means a master of drawing or painting, but giving it a shot, trying to do these kinds of things is a great way to make a name for yourself, or to learn how to draw, learn how to paint. This one in particular is from watching YouTube videos on how to draw eyes, or you can pick up how-to books. One of the people that I watch on YouTube is Mark Criley, and he does wonderful things, and I love watching him because it helps me come up with ideas of what to draw, what to paint, how to draw, how to paint. And even what he says is picking up a pen and giving it a shot is a great thing to do. So if I could give any advice to anybody, one would be watch Bob Ross. It's a great way to realize that you can make something out of nothing, and he is brilliant in it. Yes, you might get upset at first when you watch him, but if you try to do it along with him, you will be amazed at how beautiful your products come out. And they're always unique. They're always different. And you don't have to follow what he tells you. He's just giving you an idea and a technique. The other thing that I would suggest for learning how to draw or how to paint is look at a photo. Definitely look at a photo of something you would like to draw. Everybody needs a basis to start with. Everybody needs something to work off of. And looking at a photo and trying to draw from that photo is a great way to learn. And try to draw not what your brain is telling you to see, but what your eyes are actually seeing. And by that, I mean that our brains are wired to tell us that we see something completely different from what we're seeing. So when it comes to drawing, it's all about shapes and colors. Our brains, when they see an eye, start to draw eyes the way our brain perceives them to be. Rather than perceiving them as ovals on your face, you're seeing them as eyes. When you first start drawing, try drawing your picture, the picture you're using, upside down. At that point, you will start to see shapes rather than seeing a picture. And this is a great way to start to learn. You want to see the shapes rather than seeing the picture as a whole, because the picture as a whole may mess up your brain. The other thing that really works as well is using grid lines, setting up grid lines for what you're trying to draw, which we used to see when we were younger in our books that we got from the store that was trying to teach us how to draw Mickey Mouse. So those are my different suggestions for those of you who are trying to learn how to draw. It's something that I've been doing. I have a lot of how-to books that I've worked off of. And I'm going to do some more videos of myself drawing. And many of them are going to come out awful. Many of them are going to come out just so bad that I might not actually post them. But other ones might come out a little better. We're not all perfect. And trying to draw a picture absolutely perfect is just going to frustrate you. Trying to draw a picture and being happy with the fact that you got to the picture that you were trying to get to is a great way to start. I'm going to go over some things that I've learned through painting some techniques that I've learned from watching other people draw, and some techniques that I remember from when I was in school, which I might actually post some videos of those techniques, because from what I've heard, many teachers aren't teaching those in school anymore, and they're great techniques to learn, such as how to draw a 3D picture, or, doing the craziest thing that we ever did in school, which was making a butterfly out of paint. And many other techniques that I might just want to try, and see how they come out and see what you guys think. So thank you for watching this video. Please let me know what you thought of it. If you have any suggestions, please post them in the comments below, and I look forward to sending out more videos more often. And please hold me accountable to sending out videos at least every week. Hopefully I'm going to choose Friday as my days to send out videos, but we will see. So thank you again, and like I said, this is Violet Tortoise Studio, and I am Valerie. Have a nice day.